It's science, sports science from my shed. How do Force fans? Welcome back to another episode of Shed Science. Taking things very seriously today. Probably could have done with these when I was shooting rockets out the back garden, but hey ho. Talking about programming today, okay? Starting a small series on programming, and we're going to be starting with long-term programming today. The idea of this small series is to give you a better understanding of what it takes to organise a successful program that will allow you to keep progressing towards your aims, towards your targets, towards your training goals, okay? Long-term programming concerns itself with the overall themes and timings and aims of a larger program. Okay, so if you're wanting to achieve something that's way in the distance, your long-term program won't go into the nitty-gritty of day-by-day training, but what it'll do is it'll set out a step-by-step guide, a roadmap of how your training will look and how it will progress over a longer period of time. Okay, think of it like a roadmap in terms of driving a long distance. So if you're looking to drive from here to Disneyland Paris, if you're going to do it, don't take small kids. Trust me, tried it, horrible. But if you're going to drive a long distance across 2 countries with a big bit of sea in the middle, you wouldn't just take off from your front door and go, right, bags are packed, let's go. You try and set out a roadmap that would give you at least some checkpoints along the way and give you an idea of which direction you're heading. Your long-term program is very much like that. It's like tapping it into Google Maps and it telling you where to go. So every time you hit a checkpoint, you know where you're aiming for next. Long-term programming is exactly the same. Every time you work your way through a training block that is organised and set up within your long-term program, you know what's coming next. But not only do you know where you're going, you've organised and set up so that each chunk builds on the last one and keeps you progressing forwards. So your long-term program concerns itself with where you're going to be going and how that overall will look. Will you keep getting stronger? Will you be moving forward through training blocks, getting better as you go along? Hopefully, if your long-term program is set up correctly, you will. Now, how do we organise a long-term program then? How do we set up a long-term program? Well, I'm going to give you a little guideline now that will give you some insight into what the key themes are of a long-term program. And basically, they start with, like a story, start, middle, and end. Okay? Your start section is where you are now, and it's what you're physically capable of right now. It also concerns itself with your limitations and what holds you back from already being able to achieve your training aims. Okay, so the start is your home, is where you are now, and it's what you're currently capable of. I'm going to jump forward now to your end, your destination. What are you aiming for? What are you aiming to be able to do? And what would you like that to look like? How are you going to be able to perform? What achievements are you going to be able to make? What are you going to be able to do once you finish this long-term program? Okay, now those two are very important because they give you the start and the end, and then the long-term program is the middle. It's the roadmap, it's the step-by-step guide, it's the chunk-by-chunk progression that will get you from your home to your destination, from where you are now to where you want to be. All right, so this middle section is the physical program. Are you going to work week by week, keep progressing session by session through this roadmap? Are you going to follow it regimentally so that you can get to your end goal? Okay, now what this middle section actually looks like, we'll cover in the next couple of videos. Okay, so to recap, your overall long-term training program is how your training will look over a longer period of time, how each step is going to build on the one before it, and essentially you're looking to develop some manageable chunks that will keep you progressing but also keep you heading in the right direction without getting lost towards your training program. Your long-term training program is your roadmap. It's your Google Maps for training. All right, if you'll excuse me, I've got some science to do. See you soon.